YouTube kitty star Miss Rachel, I understand, also standing with Hamas.
Leaders, be so ashamed of your silence. Be so ashamed of your anti-Palestinian racism. So ashamed that you don't see Palestinian people or their children as the same as us and our children.
Laura, why is everybody suddenly an activist? Now she's kitty care at the Foreign Relations Committee. No one wants to hear that from Miss Rachel.
Well, that was Fox News contributor Raymond Arroyo, who's very offended that a content creator for children on YouTube named Miss Rachel has compassion for Palestinian children. And Raymond, if you're curious why Americans are so concerned about it, it's because our taxpayer dollars are used to slaughter innocent children, women, elderly people, civilians in Gaza. We see images and videos of it on a regular basis. And if we're funding it, we have the right to comment on it, criticize it. In fact, even if we weren't funding it, I would still comment on it and criticize it because we live in America, bitch, and we get to say what we think about what's happening in our country and around the world. And if you don't like it, turn it off. But just because you're not hearing your pro-Israel propaganda 24/7 doesn't mean that you get to try to silence someone who disagrees with your take, which is essentially Israel gets to do whatever it wants, break every international law, commit every war crime imaginable, and slaughter innocent kids in Gaza, which is what they've been doing since the beginning of this genocide. Go ahead, Jink.
Two quick things about it. So first, the reason why they want to shut down people like Miss Rachel, and then why Douglas Murray says, have you been there? And they always do the thing about, you're not an expert, okay? Why? They have, almost all of our politicians work for Israel. Almost all of our media works for Israel. So you need non-politicians and non-media figures to speak out like Miss Rachel, right? And by media, she does media as well, but not news. So when someone is not controlled by Israel and they speak out, they're like, get her off. Okay, no, not an expert, have you been there? Anti-Semite, get her off. She has no expertise, no way, don't listen to her. Go back to listening to propaganda that we have perfectly ready for you on mainstream media. Go listen to Dana Bash, go listen to Fox News. Don't worry, right wing, left wing, we got it all covered. Democrats, Republicans, we got it all covered. 87% of Congress is funded by AIPAC, congressional members. So just listen to the corrupt. Do not listen to good people who want you to protect children. And then look at the hypocrisy. You shouldn't listen to any celebrities. Next up, Kid Rock, woo! Kid Rock's on ours, and Hulk Hogan.
It's so true, Aaron Rodgers. Like, we like celebrities weighing in on politics or policy when they agree with us. Otherwise, shut up. But by the way, honestly, Raymond, keep going, because all of this backfires, and they're too dumb to see it. Because when you, just think about how stupid you have to be to specifically comment on that video featuring Miss Rachel, where she's talking about innocent children getting slaughtered with that sweet voice that she has. And you're like, oh, well, how dare she? Okay, keep going, okay? Every attempt at silencing Americans who have a legitimate concern over the barbarism that's currently playing out in Gaza has backfired on Israel supporters. So if you guys want to keep playing this game, keep playing the game. Because these efforts to censor people have not been working for good reason. Now, again, Miss Rachel had the audacity to say on her social media platforms that kids shouldn't starve to death or be killed, whether they're American, Israeli, or Palestinian, which shouldn't be controversial, but apparently it is for Israel's staunchest supporters. She recently spent time with a 3-year-old girl who devastatingly is a double amputee as a result of the barbarism that's taking place in Gaza. Her name is Rahaf, and she lost her legs in Israeli airstrikes and was luckily medically evacuated to the United States. Other Palestinians aren't so lucky when they need medical care. So you saw the photo of the two together. It was a really sweet video. And in response to bringing joy to kids like Rahaf and speaking out on their behalf, Arroyo decided to mock her. Let's take a look.
Mr. Rogers in our day, he didn't start lecturing kids about Russia or Iran or the nuclear threat. That's not your job. And I worry, everybody feels they have to get on the activist bandwagon now. Miss Rachel, you don't know anything about the Middle East, the Middle East, the Middle East. Maybe we have to just kind of, speak in her vernacular.
We think Mr. Rogers actually did weigh on some foreign policy issues and things like the Cold War. We're double checking right now, but I wouldn't expect Raymond Arroyo to know the facts about anything he's talking about. He's just there to spew propaganda on behalf of Israel. Now, the mockery didn't end there. Laura Ingraham also attacked 22-year-old Greta Thunberg for literally risking her life by embarking on an aid trip to Gaza. So let's take a look at that.
How is it possible that Greta's crying?
No matter how dangerous this mission is, it is nowhere near as dangerous as the silence of the entire world in the face of a live-stream genocide.
If only we had silence. How did she go from climate change to Gaza? Wasn't she doing climate change? Her repertoire keeps getting. Did she go on the bow and say she was queen of the world?
So just going back to Mr. Rogers briefly, in 1983, he talked about the Cold War on his kids show.
I have more.
Go ahead.
Rogers, this is from HuffPost. Rogers was an uncompromising pacifist, and when Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood debuted nationally in 1968, during the height of the Vietnam War, he used his first week of programming to share his anti-war beliefs.
Interesting. Wow.
You might want to look it up first, dumbass.
Okay. So, but just getting back to Greta Thunberg, who, again, you have these incredible people who are risking their lives to try to deliver aid to Palestinians in Gaza. And Senator Lindsey Graham commented on this on social media. Let's take a look at his post where he says, "Hope Greta and her friends can swim." It's so funny. It's so funny killing innocent people. We love it. We can't get enough of it. You're a piece of crap.
Because Israel, they'll kill anybody. They'll kill children. They'll sink your boat for no reason. But why? Because you disagree with them. If you disagree with them, they'll murder you. Hey, that's our special ally. Let's give him another $20 billion.
Now look, there have been many attempts to shut down Voices for Peace in Palestine. In fact, attempts to shut down Voices for Peace in Palestine were put on overdrive, okay? After the horrific attack that we covered on this show earlier this week. That was the attack in Colorado on peaceful demonstrators in Boulder. This happened over the weekend. Luckily, no one was killed, but the perpetrator tried to burn people to death. It was awful. And people like CNN contributor Scott Jennings decided to exploit that horrific event in an effort to censor anyone who's calling for the freedom of Palestinians. Take a look.
This is horrific, and what more do we need to see, Jake, before we realize this Free Palestine movement is nothing more than a domestic terror organization right now. I mean, we had the killings in Washington a couple of weeks ago. We had this issue in Colorado. We've seen, the activities on college campuses now for months and months and months and months. The rise of anti-Semitism in America, the rise in the number of people who have come to America who hold anti-American views, anti-Western views, and anti-Semitic views, and are now willing to act on it. It is absolutely outrageous.
I don't appreciate the conflation of anti-Israel views being anti-American views. You can be anti-Israel and still very much supportive of the United States, its government, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but he's doing that intentional conflation to make it appear as though anyone who's critical of Israel is anti-American. No, they're not.
Yeah, hey, Israeli propagandist. Actually, you know what's anti-American? Israel. When Israel says, hey, give me $300 billion, go to fight the Iraq war for me, start a war with Iran for me, get your boys and girls killed for me, give me trillions of dollars in expenditures in Iraq. I want you to attack all of my enemies in the Middle East. And hey, propagandist, I want you to get everyone in America to hate Muslims. I want you to start basically an ideological war between America and 1.6 billion Muslims for no goddamn reason other than Israel doesn't like Muslims. Israel likes taking Muslim land and slaughtering Muslims while they're taking that land. So we'll get everyone in America to hate Muslims, and that will help Israel's purposes. Will that help America? No. No, it's gotten us into a conflict with a third of the world for no reason other than Israel asked us to. Israel wants it. Israel, Israel, Israel. No, Israel is not our ally. They've taken, and given nothing back. Nothing at all. With allies like this, you don't need enemies.
Yeah.
And in terms of his comment about domestic terror organizations. So now if you say free Palestine, you're a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, we know what's happening here.
Everyone has to be racist against Palestinians. You must be racist. If you're not racist against Palestinians, you're a terrorist, okay? No. Scott Jennings is a piece of crap. He's filth. And the fact that over 30,000 women and children have been killed, he thinks, oh, that's great. That's not terrorism. Because those are just Palestinians. Their lives are worthless.
Yeah.
We just slaughter them on behalf of Israel, because we fund this genocide. So, but we're not the terrorists. Israel's not the terrorist. Israel propagandists like Scott Jennings and Arroyo are not the terrorists. No,
terrorist sympathizers.
Yeah, they're massive terrorist sympathizers. You don't get any worse than the terrorism that Israel has done in Gaza. How many children are you going to slaughter before it's obvious that it's terrorism?
Well, look, I just want to go to someone who's been super based on this topic, and I can't get enough of his commentary on it. And in fact, he has weighed in on these efforts to censor pro-peace demonstrators in America. Let's take a look at what Dave Smith had to say just today on Piers Morgan's show.
If you remember, there was this example of the guy in Florida who is being charged with attempted murder right now because he shot 2 people who he thought were Palestinians. Turned out they weren't, he was wrong. But I would never use that as an example in one of these debates and say, aha, pro-Israel person, you're responsible for that.
Right.
I'm a free market libertarian, free market capitalist guy. There was a Bernie Sanders fan who shot up a congressional baseball game several years back. I would never use that in an argument and say, you're responsible for that, because it's the cheapest, lamest form of argument. You are not responsible if you're telling the truth for as you see it for some crazy person committing a horrific act of violence. By the way, we're talking about ongoing innocent people being killed for over 20 months at this point now. So that's what the whole conversation is about.
I couldn't have said it better myself. He's absolutely right about it. It's obvious that the horrific event that happened over the weekend is being exploited specifically and cynically to silence legitimate criticism of the government and military of Israel. And no one should allow these scare tactics to influence what they're saying publicly, because you are seeing what your eyes are seeing in Gaza. You're hearing it, you're seeing it. It is horrific, and we are funding it. We have the right to speak out against it, and no one should get to silence us because of the fact that we're being critical of the Israeli government. We get to be critical of our own government, foreign governments. We have the First Amendment, and as long as we're not inciting violence or engaging in violence, we're good. Anyone who's trying to infringe on our First Amendment rights needs to shut the F up, period.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that Natasha Dumkoff that he was debating, I debated her at USA Law, as explained earlier in the show. And since she's supposed to be an international lawyer, she got, of course, she was destroyed by our side because she has no leg to stand on. So she resorted to calling me a parasite.
Yeah.
And that was, by the way, second in a row of an Israeli supporter dehumanizing their opponents and going, me is specific, and calling me a parasite 2 times in a row. What do you do with parasites, right? See, this is now literal Nazi language. Yeah, I'm saying it. It is Nazi language they use against their opponents. And they say, oh, what? We're not allowed to slaughter over 16 to 17,000 children? We're allowed to slaughter, whoa, we're not allowed to starve children to death? Of course, blood libel. If you accurately point out the number of children we have murdered, we're gonna pretend you're anti-Semitic for pointing out a fact of what Israel has done. By the way, it's not Jews. Israel, the government of Israel has done it. And lastly, if you wanna see an absolute dismantling in a debate about Israel, watch the one we have on our YouTube channel on the Young Turks. Me and Dave Smith combined versus Dennis Prager and Batya Ungar-Sargon, okay? We dismantled Dennis Prager. So go check it out and see what a debate looks like when you got a fair fight. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.